Welcome to Evermore Love, a journey through heartfelt stories. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to Evermore Love, your cozy corner for timeless tales that whisper to the heart while gently polishing your English skills. If you're new here, oh, what a treat you're in for. Stories woven with emotion, romance, and just the right touch of life's little lessons. Today, we're diving into an original gem, Boss Moves Closer. It's a story of unexpected sparks in the most unlikely places, perfect for intermediate learners to follow along with vivid language and flowing dialogue. Before we begin, I have a heartfelt ask. We're so close to hitting that magical 1,000 subscriber milestone, and your support means the world. If this story touches you, hit that subscribe button. It takes just a second, and join our growing family. Turn on notifications so you never miss a whisper of love. And hey, for the full magic, stick around till the end. These tales bloom brightest when savored completely. Let's watch time fly together as we reach 1K and beyond. Ready? Lights low, hearts open. Here we go. Boss Moves Closer. In the heart of Chicago's bustling loop, where skyscrapers pierced the clouds like silver arrows, stood the gleaming tower of Apex Innovations. It was a world of glass walls and humming servers, where ambition crackled in the air like static before a storm. Elena Vasquez had carved her place there 2 years ago, fresh out of grad school with a resume sharper than her favorite stilettos. At 28, she was the marketing whiz who turned data into dreams, campaigns that didn't just sell products but spark conversations. Her desk was a sanctuary of color. Sticky notes in pastel pinks, a wilting pothose plant she swore she'd revive someday, and a framed photo of her late abuela, smiling as if she knew all Elena's secrets. But secrets? Elena had none, or so she told herself. Until Marcus Hale walked into the boardroom that crisp October morning. He wasn't just the new CEO. He was a force, a man in his mid-30s with shoulders broad enough to carry the weight of a Fortune 500 company, and eyes the color of smoked whiskey, deep and unreadable. His reputation preceded him. The prodigy who'd climbed from intern to executive at a rival firm, known for his laser focus and a smile rarer than a quiet elevator ride. "Team," he'd said in that voice like velvet over gravel, "we're not here to play safe. We're here to redefine bold." Elena had felt it then, a pull like gravity shifting under her feet. She chalked it up to nerves. After all, who wouldn't when the boss's gaze lingered just a beat too long? The first challenge came swift as a deadline. Apex was launching Echo, a revolutionary app for remote teams, and Elena's campaign was the linchpin. Late nights blurred into early mornings, coffee runs turning into hurried chats in the break room. Marcus started joining them, not as the untouchable exec, but as the guy who'd forgotten his tie that day and laughed about it. "You know," he'd say, leaning against the counter with sleeves rolled up to reveal forearms etched with faint scars from some adventurous youth, "I used to think success was solitary. But watching you weave words like that, it's a reminder we're all threads in the same tapestry." Elena would blush, tucking a stray curl behind her ear, her heart doing that traitorous flutter. Flattery from the boss. "Careful, Mr. Hale, or I'll think you're human." Their banter was light, professional, a dance around the edges of something electric. But edges have a way of blurring. One rain-lashed evening, as thunder rattled the windows and the office emptied like a ghost town, Elena stayed late tweaking ad copy. The fluorescents buzzed overhead, casting long shadows on the carpet. She didn't hear him approach until his shadow fell across her screen. "Still at it?" Marcus's voice was soft, almost hesitant, as he set a steaming mug beside her. Chamomile tea, her favorite, though she'd never mentioned it. How did he know? She glanced up, and there it was. That smile, not the boardroom one but real, crinkling the corners of his eyes. He pulled up a chair, close enough that she caught the scent of his cologne, sandalwood and citrus warm against the storm's chill. "Talk me through it," he said, and she did. Words spilled out. Visions of users connecting across oceans, families reunited in virtual hugs, the app as a bridge over isolation's chasm. His questions weren't interrogations. They were invitations, drawing her deeper into the rhythm of his thoughts. As the rain softened to a drizzle, Elena shared more than strategy. My abuela used to say, "El amor no espera por el permiso." Love doesn't wait for permission. She laughed it off, but Marcus leaned in, his knee brushing hers under the desk, a spark that jolted through her like live wire. "Wise woman," he murmured. "And what permissions are you waiting for, Elena?" The air thickened, charged with unspoken what-ifs. She met his gaze, those whiskey eyes now molten, and whispered, "Maybe none." Their first kiss was tentative, born of that vulnerability. His hand cupping her cheek, thumb tracing the curve of her jaw, her fingers threading into his hair as if anchoring herself to the moment. It tasted of tea and possibility, sweet and forbidden. But love, like any bold move, came with thorns. Whispers slithered through the office like smoke. Is she sleeping her way up? He's crossing lines. Elena felt their stares like pinpricks during the next team meeting. Her ideas met with sidelong glances instead of nods. Worse was the gnawing doubt inside her. Was this real, or just the thrill of power's shadow? Marcus, too, wrestled shadows of his own. Over stolen lunches in hidden cafes. He'd confess fragments. His divorce 2 years prior, a union shattered by his relentless drive. "I built walls so high I forgot how to let anyone in," he'd say, his voice cracking like thin ice. "Until you make me want to tear them down." Elena's heart ached for him, this man who commanded rooms but trembled in quiet confessions. She'd trace the lines of tension around his mouth, whispering, "Then let's build something new. Together." Challenges mounted like storm clouds. The Echo launch hit a snag, a competitor's smear campaign painting Apex as intrusive overlords. Deadlines loomed, tempers frayed. One night, in the heat of a strategy session, Marcus snapped at Elena in front of the team. "This isn't poetry, Vasquez, it's business." The words landed like a slap, her cheeks burning as colleagues averted eyes. She stormed out, tears hot on the elevator ride down, the city lights blurring into streaks of neon regret. In her tiny apartment, surrounded by Abuela's knitted throws and the pothos now thriving defiantly, Elena curled up, phone silent. "He's just stressed," she told herself. "But am I just a distraction?" Marcus arrived at dawn, soaked from the cab ride. His knock a plea against her door. She let him in, arms crossed like armor. "Elena, God, that was unforgivable." He paced her living room, vulnerability stripping him bare. The boy who'd lost his father young, channeling grief into ambition, fearing softness as weakness. "You're not a distraction. You're the only thing that makes sense in this chaos." She saw it then, the fear in his eyes mirroring her own. The challenge wasn't the office gossip or the deadlines. It was trusting that love could coexist with ambition. They talked until sunlight slanted golden through the blinds, hands entwined, rebuilding bridges word by word. "I love you," he said finally, the words a vow against the dawn. "Not despite the suits and spreadsheets, but because you see through them." Elena's tears fell then, not from hurt but release. "And I love you, Marcus. The man who moves closer, even when it's scary." The heartfelt pivot came weeks later, at the Echo Gala, a swirl of champagne flutes and designer gowns in Apex's rooftop lounge. Elena, in a sapphire dress that hugged her like a second skin, presented the campaign to investors. Her voice steady, laced with passion, she spoke of connections forged in code and courage. Marcus watched from the wings, pride swelling like a tide. As applause rippled, he stepped forward, not as boss but partner, slipping a small velvet box into her palm. Inside, a delicate necklace, a silver bridge pendant, etched with El amor no espera. "For the woman who taught me to cross," he whispered, fastening it around her neck, his breath warm on her skin. From there, their love unfolded like a well-tended garden. Challenges met with quiet strength. They navigated HR policies with grace, Marcus advocating for inclusive romance guidelines that empowered the whole team. Weekends became theirs. Lazy brunches in Wicker Park, where he'd burn pancakes and she'd laugh until her sides ached. Hikes in the Indiana dunes, hands linked as waves whispered approvals. Elena's pothose bloomed, a quiet metaphor for their growth. And in stolen moments like the one under a canopy of autumn leaves in Grant Park, Marcus would pull her close, murmuring, "Every step closer to you feels like home." Years later, as they stood on that same rooftop, now married, Elena leading her own division, Marcus her steadfast equal, they'd toast to the storm that brought them here. Love, it turned out, wasn't a boss's command or an employee's dream. It was a choice, daily and defiant, moving closer through every shadow and shine. There you have it, dear listeners. A tale of hearts that dared to bridge the divide. If Boss Moves Closer stirred something deep within you, warmed your soul, or even sparked a smile, please subscribe to Evermore Love right now. We're crafting more enchanting stories just like this, blending romance with English elegance to make learning feel like falling in love. Hit that button, share with a friend who needs a heart hug, and let's keep the Evermore alive together. Until next time, may your own love stories move ever closer. Sweet dreams.